She was my whole world long before I realized how fragile worlds can be. Our story began quietly, without fireworks or loud promises, just two souls learning each other's silences. We shared routines that felt eternal, morning messages, late-night calls, and dreams whispered into the dark. I believed love was proven through consistency, and I gave her every piece of mine without hesitation. In my mind, loyalty was unbreakable, and forever was not just a word, but a destination we were walking toward together. We planned a future built on simple hopes. Not grand houses or impossible dreams, but peace, trust, and growing old knowing someone chose you every single day. I shaped my life around her presence. My happiness echoed her laughter, and my sadness softened when she reassured me. I never questioned her honesty because love, I thought, did not survive without truth. She promised me the same devotion I offered her, and I held on to those promises like anchors. Our relationship felt safe. There were disagreements, but never doubt. I defended her in every conversation, protected her name even when she wasn't around, and trusted her even when distance tested us. I ignored small changes because love teaches you to see the good first. I believed effort meant commitment and silence meant peace, not secrets. I thought knowing someone's heart was enough to keep it from drifting away. She became my comfort and my strength. When life felt heavy, she was the place I rested my soul. I shared my fears with her, my insecurities, and the parts of me I never showed the world. She listened, or at least I believed she did. I trusted her with my vulnerability, thinking love would protect it. I never imagined the same hands that held my heart would one day be the ones to let it fall. In those days, I felt complete. I thought love was supposed to feel like this, steady, reassuring, and deeply connected. I didn't know I was standing on the edge of a future that would collapse without warning. I didn't know that the world I built around her was slowly becoming the reason everything inside me would break. I loved her with certainty, and I believed she loved me the same. That belief was everything I had. The change didn't arrive all at once. It slipped in quietly, hiding behind excuses and unanswered questions. Conversations shortened. Replies took longer. Her presence felt distant even when she said she was close. I told myself I was overthinking, that love required patience. I trusted her words more than my instincts, convincing myself that doubt was a weakness I needed to overcome. She started guarding parts of her life I once knew freely. Stories felt incomplete, emotions felt rehearsed, and warmth slowly faded into politeness. I noticed the shift but chose silence, believing love should not accuse without proof. I feared that questioning her would push her away, so I swallowed my confusion and held on tighter, hoping things would return to how they were. I tried harder. I listened more, cared more, gave more. I believed effort could fix distance and loyalty could heal silence. But the more I gave, the more invisible I felt. It was as if my presence no longer mattered, like I was standing in a room where my voice no longer echoed. Still, I stayed, because walking away from love felt impossible. There were moments when my heart warned me. A pause before she spoke, a change in tone, a feeling I could not explain. But love teaches you to doubt yourself before doubting the person you trust. I convinced myself that every relationship faces phases, that this was temporary, that commitment meant endurance. I held on to memories while ignoring the present. I began feeling alone even while being with her. The connection that once felt unbreakable now felt fragile. I wondered if I had changed, if I was no longer enough. I blamed myself for the distance, believing that if I became better, she would return to me emotionally. I didn't realize that love cannot compete where loyalty is already lost. The silence grew heavier. The reassurance disappeared. And yet, she still said everything was fine. I believed her because I wanted to, because the truth was too painful to imagine. I didn't know that behind the quiet smiles and careful words, something was already broken. The cracks were there, deep and spreading, and I was standing on them, unaware that betrayal was closer than I ever feared. The truth arrived without mercy. Not through a confession, but through fragments that finally formed a picture I couldn't ignore. What I discovered didn't just hurt, it shattered everything I believed in. It wasn't only that she chose someone else. It was that she did so while promising me forever. The betrayal wasn't loud, but it was deep, cutting through my trust and leaving nothing untouched. I felt replaced before I was even released. While I was holding on to memories, she was building new ones elsewhere. Every promise she made replayed in my mind, now sounding hollow and distant. I questioned every moment, every word, every silence. I wondered how long I had been loving someone who was already gone. The pain was overwhelming. It wasn't anger at first, it was disbelief. I struggled to understand how love could disappear without warning, how loyalty could fade without honesty. I felt small, unworthy, and broken. The world I built around her collapsed, and I was buried under the weight of my own expectations. I didn't cry immediately. I felt numb. My heart couldn't process the loss of someone who was still alive but emotionally unreachable. I mourned a relationship that no longer existed, a future that was never real. The betrayal didn't just take her away. It took my sense of security, my trust in people, and my belief in love. I questioned myself endlessly. Was I not enough? Did my love fail? The answers didn't matter because the damage was already done. Infidelity doesn't only break relationships, it breaks people. It leaves behind doubt, fear, and scars that take time to heal. I realized that loving deeply also means hurting deeply when trust is destroyed. That day changed me. I lost more than a partner. I lost the version of myself who believed love was always honest. The truth didn't set me free. It left me standing in ruins, trying to understand how my whole world could disappear while I was still holding on to it. Healing didn't begin with strength. It began with survival. Some days, just breathing felt like effort. I carried the weight of betrayal quietly, learning to live without the person who once defined my happiness. The memories didn't disappear, but they slowly lost their power over me. I realized that loving someone deeply does not make you weak, even if they chose to betray that love. I stopped blaming myself. Her choices were not a reflection of my worth. Infidelity is not caused by loving too much, but by valuing commitment too little. I learned that loyalty is a decision, not a feeling, and she chose differently. Accepting that truth was painful, but it was necessary. Over time, I rebuilt myself piece by piece. I learned to sit with my pain instead of running from it. I learned that endings can exist without closure, and healing does not require understanding everything. Some wounds heal by being accepted, not explained. I found strength in solitude and peace in self-respect. I no longer seek love to complete me. I seek it to complement a life I am learning to value on my own. Losing her destroyed everything inside me, but it also revealed what needed to be rebuilt. I am stronger now, not because I didn't break, but because I survived the breaking. This story does not end with bitterness. It ends with awareness. Love should never cost you your dignity or self-worth. I loved her with everything I had, and that love was real. Her betrayal does not erase that truth. It only reminds me that real love begins with honesty, and the next time I give my heart, it will be to someone who knows how to protect it.